What's up, everybody? It's Keefe from Ghost Cult Magazine, and you're watching The Weekly Ritual. And it's been 104 days since Breonna Taylor was murdered, and no arrests have been made. Welcome back to The Weekly Ritual, Ghost Cult Magazine's weekly news show on YouTube. First, let's get into some features. Features we ran this week at Ghost Cult include a memoriam piece to Vinnie Paul Abbott of Pantera and Hell Yeah. Vinnie passed away 2 years ago this week on June 22nd, 2018, and we always try to remember his life and his work. Vinnie meant an awful lot to us, as he did to all his fans, and he was a metal drumming legend. Another feature we ran this week was on Deftones' White Pony, which turned 20 years old last weekend. Deftones surrounded the weekend anniversary with several events, including an announcement that they're going to re-release White Pony later in the year, and also alongside a remix album called Black Stallion. The band also hosted an online watch-along live stream with a visualizer of the entire record. It was pretty cool. It was up for about a day and a half. Unfortunately, it is down now, but a lot of cool stuff surrounding Deftones and White Pony. Other features we ran this week at Ghost Cult include our exclusive interview with Alan Johannes. You may know Alan from his time in the 90s metal and rock band 11, but also Alan has worked with Chris Cornell very closely, Them Crooked Vultures, Queens of the Stone Age, Desert Sessions albums, and much more as a producer, including Arctic Monkeys. Alan has a new solo album, Hum, coming out this July on Ipecac Records. It's sort of a mellow solo acoustic plus type affair, and we talked to Alan about his entire career and a lot of really cool insights there from Alan. Please check out his album. Jennifer from Beyond the Black, the German symphonic metal band. Their new album Horizons is out now on Napalm Records, and we talked to her all about her career, changes in the band lineup, and the brand new album. On the podcast front, we chatted with Denver thrash metal band Hydroform, who have a new EP coming out this week. We actually interviewed the entire band in a hilarious interview over Zoom from quarantine. Another podcast we had this week was done by our brand new contributor, Duncan Evans. You may know Duncan from his work in the band of Forest of Stars. He's now a solo artist on Prophecy Productions, and he did his very first interview here at Ghost Cult with Katie Jane Gartside. You may know her from her 90s Riot Girl band Daisy Chainsaw, her other groups like Queen Adrena, and her more recent project Ruby Throat. Awesome interview by Duncan. The story of the week in the whole music industry this week has been the many cases of sexual assault and sexual allegations levied against many band members. A few weeks ago, we talked about Austin Carlisle, formerly of Mice and Men, and the allegations lobbied against him. I'm not sure if we've mentioned this before here on The Weekly Ritual, but we have felt for a long time at Ghost Cult that the metoo movement has not really yet come to the underground or heavy music scene. Obviously, there's no room in the music world for these kind of actions. They happen from bands taking advantage of people, as well as industry folks and record label people. We probably never even hear about all the cases. I'm glad that some of these stories are coming to light. It's about time. Also, as just an addendum to this story, there's a great website, Here She Roars, who published a list of alleged male rapists in the music scene. It's not an extensive list, but it's very focused on punk and metalcore in the southeastern United States and elsewhere. And that list was provided by Crass Lips Records. You can check that out at the link below and at Here She Roars blog and website. Finally, news is starting to slow down. Of course, every time I say you take a drink at home. But remember, drink responsibly. One big coronavirus piece of news this week is that the September Full Terror Assault Fest has lost two of its headliners and another main band, as Gwar, Exodus, and General Surgery have all pulled out. As of the time of this recording, the festival is still on. That actual campground in Illinois where that festival is held reopened recently and has had events and people who seem to be semi-social distancing. We'll see if they can pull off the event. We've been big fans of theirs for many years, and we hope they can. Apparently, they're about to announce more bands joining the bill, so we'll see if that stays on or not. Two other coronavirus-related closings we want to talk to you about. and bring to your attention. One is the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, New York, which was the home for many years for the New York Islanders, but also home to many, many major rock and metal concerts, including Metallica, Ozzy Osbourne, Kiss on their reunion tour, and many more. The arena has been empty since the Islanders now play in Brooklyn, New York, where the Nets play basketball at the Atlantic Center, also home to many concerts, but the Coliseum is now closed permanently. Judas Priest was supposed to play there next year on their big 50th anniversary tour. That actual entire show is now canceled. We'll see if they're going to reschedule that gig for somewhere else in New York, but sad to see a landmark of New York sports and concerts go by the wayside. Very sad. Another big closure we've been following was earlier in the year due to the coronavirus. Great Scott, the legendary Boston bar and music venue, was forced to close, and there was a huge crowdfunding campaign where they raised almost $200,000 for the venue. It seemed like they were going to be able to stay, and then at the last second, the lease company has decided they do not want to issue a new lease to that place, and they have already chosen another tenant. Super bummed, super disappointing. A loss, a legendary place in Boston music history. So many shows there, especially when I lived in Boston, but we obviously have a team and a staff still in Boston. We still cover shows there as recently as last year, and it's just very disappointing to see that place go out of existence. We are bummed, and we will miss you, Great Scott. Now on to some good news. Finally, Hum is back. After 23 years, they released a brand new album, Inlet, as a complete surprise to Bandcamp for free and streaming. Hum is an influential post-hardcore and post-rock band. They really innovated both of those styles and subgenres, and are an amazing band you should definitely check out. Inlet. We'll be bringing you a review of that album very soon. In a good news situation from the coronavirus cancellations, Psycho Las Vegas, as you know, has canceled their 2020 festival in Las Vegas, which has been mostly shut down during the pandemic. But now they rescheduled for 2021 with almost the entire lineup coming back, minus 2 or 3 bands. Sadly, one of them is Crowbar, which is a bummer, but almost all the other bands are still coming, including exclusive sets from Danzig, Emperor, Catatonia, Wolves in the Throne Room. Amazing stuff. Very excited about Psycho Las Vegas 2021. And hopefully, once again, Ghost Cult will be on hand to bring it to the fans. Full of Hell, the grindcore band, is back with a brand new song, Language of Molten Cherubs, which includes an incredible saxophone solo. Full of Hell is one of the best bands out there right now. We are huge fans of everything they do, and we're super stoked for some new Full of Hell music. Sevendust is teasing something on their social media. By the time you watch this, it will probably already be out, but we're expecting some new music from Sevendust, who was in the studio all last year and early this year with their frequent collaborator Elvis Baskett in Florida, making a brand new album. We're very stoked for some new Sevendust jams. Howard Jones of Light the Torch and formerly of Killswitch Engage has teamed up with YouTuber Jared Dines. You know him from his shred guitar videos and his brief stint last year on tour with Trivium. Jared and Howard have teamed up to make a, quote, Killswitch Engage style metalcore band, which is very exciting. Light the Torch is also awesome and still happening and still on. And we are expecting a eventual tour with Killswitch Engage and Light the Torch, in which Howard will join Killswitch and sing with them. That's been talked about and confirmed, and we're hoping it still happens. So more new music from Howard, more new music from Jared Dines. Very exciting. New York City's Uniform has announced a brand new album, Shame, coming out on September 11th, and they have released a brand new single, Delco, which you can definitely check out. It's brutal. The band is amazing, and we are huge fans of theirs. They've been off the road for most of the last year while they were writing this new record, so we'll be very interested to hear it when the full thing drops in September. Two of our absolute favorite artists, Merker and Anna von Hauswolf, have released a cover of Bjork's All Is Full of Love. It's an incredible, chilled out cover. Both artists recorded from their respective homes in quarantine, and they just streamed the single today, which is quite startling to listen to. Big fans here of Merker. She just released her album earlier in the year, Folksange, And Anna von Hauswolf, always a favorite of ours. Looking forward to new music from hers as well. August marks the 30th anniversary of alternative rock legends Pixies' Bossa Nova album. You know that we are huge Pixies fans here at Ghost Cult. We've covered them on tour, and we did a retrospective of their 30th anniversary for Doolittle last year, their second album. So definitely looking forward to the Bossa Nova reissue and anniversary, and perhaps at some point anniversary tour honoring Bossa Nova. Pixies still an amazing group, even though Kim Deal is not in the band anymore. They have replaced her with Paslin Canton, formerly of A Perfect Circle. Big Pixie fans here. Alan Robert of Life of Agony, as you know, we frequently cover his Beauty of Horror adult coloring book series here at Ghost Cult. Alan has finally opened up his own threadless shop where you can get merch, shirts, cups, bags, all kinds of stuff, custom made in colors and sizes just for you and shipped to your home. We love seeing his design of his main character, Guliana, featured on all the merch. You can now get your own at the link below. And now finally, for all you progressive rock nerds, this summer will bring us a Dream Theater track-by-track book by journalist and writer Jordan Blum. You may know Jordan's work from Metal Injection, Prague Report, and Rebel Noise. Jordan's a friend of Ghost Cults. He's been on the Dumb and Dumbest podcast with myself and Matt Bacon. And Jordan's last book on Jethro Tull was amazing, and he's already working on his next book about Opeth for next year. But pick up his Dream Theater book at the link below and from Amazon. Now for a quick run through about who rules at streaming. Sepultura has continued their Sepulquarta series with Roy Mayorga of Hell Yeah and usually Stone Sour. In a weird 6 degrees of separation, Roy, of course, used to be in Soulfly with Max Cavalera, who founded Sepultura. And what an interesting chat that was to have those guys all get together and talk business. They actually tributed Vinnie Paul and talked about what a loss that was to them, especially Eloy Casagrande, the drummer of Sepultura, who was very young, and Roy, who has many, many experiences, not just stepping into Vinnie's drum stool with Hell Yeah, but also toured for many years with him off and on different bills. So great thing to check out online. Good job, Sepultura. Bane has been back in the news, even though they retired in 2016. As we mentioned recently, they've been the subject of a series of podcasts on the Brooklyn Blast Furnace podcast, which usually focuses on hardcore. Bane is trying to raise money for Brendan Stu McGuire's cancer battle. They said they would release their final show in 2016 at the Worcester Palladium if they reach their $25,000 goal. Looks like they are now aiming for 50. The stream is this Saturday, June 27th. Bane, a seminal New England hardcore band. And obviously we hope that Brendan gets well soon. And then finally, at Who Rules It Streaming, the National Air Guitar Championships will host their Hall of Fame ceremony this weekend, June 27th. Should be a badass time. If you're not familiar with, get familiar with. The National Air Guitar Championships rule. It's actually a worldwide event, but they're going to hold their Hall of Fame virtually via a Zoom and Facebook call. Now we'll talk about New Music Friday, all the albums that come out Friday, June 26th. This is just a small sample of our normal, larger post that we make every Friday with buy links and stream links. A live album from the UK doom band Ahab, Live Prey on Napalm Records. Bell Witch and Aerial Ruins split release. Black Veil Brides Restitch These Wounds, a re-recording of their first album. Karat Angren has returned with their new album on Season of Mist Records. Counterparts, Pure Form of Pain on Pure Noise Records. Enslaved's Homebound 7-inch, which is their first new music from their upcoming album Utgard on Nuclear Blast. Falconer's new album is out on Metal Blade this week. Another album out this week is Grey Days, Amends. Grey Days, of course, the original band that Chester Bennington was in before he joined Linkin Park, and Amends features vocals from Chester on the entire album. The album also features appearances from Head and Monkey from Korn, Paige Hamilton, Chris Traynor of Bush, and Chester's son. It's going to be an awesome tribute to Chester, and we have a review of that up on the site right now. Other albums this week include Human Impact on Ipecac Records, Kansas, The Absence of Presence, the Progressive Rock Masters are back with a new one, Netherlands, New York City band, Avant Garde, Zombie Techno. Petrodactyl Problems is releasing a Sabbath medley album of Black Sabbath covers. Petrodactyl Problems does awesome covers. You should check out their cover of Adele's Hello if you want to really hear something special. Piron's Abscess Time is out on Willowtip Records. Scott Wino Weinrich's debut solo album for Ripple Music, Forever Gone, is out. You know Wino from The Obsessed and St. Vitus. It's a mostly unplugged affair, and we also have a review of that at Ghost Cult. And finally, Vestal Claret's self-titled album is out. Surprise release this week for the Doom Band. You want to check that out? We also have a review of that at the site. And now it's time for the Mailbag, our weekly look at what we're keeping ourselves entertained with as we try to not go insane from 4 months in quarantine. First up this week, we pulled an oldie but goodie off the shelf from last year. Tool's Fear Inoculum Deluxe version. This was actually the original version of the album. That was the only version you could get with a multimedia disc and a download code of the digital album. This incredible package was not discount priced at over $55, in some cases upwards of $70, depending on the outlet. But it was gorgeously made, as Tool always does an incredible job. Let me just take a quick thumb through it if you haven't seen it. It also comes, again, with that custom disc of DVD visual additional content that goes along with Fear Inoculum. We are major Tool fans here at Ghost Cult, and can't tell you how much enjoyment it's given me to pull this back off the shelf and rewatch and reappreciate one of the best albums of 2019. And then finally, 2 volumes of Claudio Sanchez's The Armory Wars. Graphic novels and comic books collected in these paperback softcover editions. Claudio, as you know, is the lead singer and mastermind guitar player of Coheed and Cambria. He has long created comic books and stories. He creates these comics with a team. These are extensions of the Good Apollo series album, and these books are amazing. Some people like Claudio's comic books better than the band, actually. But certainly a fan for any diehard Coheed fan, you must own these. And certainly if you're a fan of sci-fi and comic books and you're not familiar with the band, I highly recommend you check out these books. Shout out to our producer and videographer, Omar Cordy, because these are his, and he lent them to me. That's it for the Weekly Ritual. Thanks for watching. If you like shows like this, please like and subscribe at the notification below so you find out every time Ghost Cult drops a new video. Of course, we're on all the social media at Ghost Cult Mag, and of course, as always, our website is ghostcultmag.com. It's a very tough time in the world. There's a lot of hard stuff going on. Please be good to each other. Please be good to yourself. And if you have been the victim of a sexual assault or any unnecessary, unwanted sexual advances, please check out the resources in the description below and ask for some help. Thank you.